blah 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 blah.
So if I'm gonna dive in
emergence.
here and get this game anyway, should I just get the DLC to go with it?
It's not DLC. It's just like some
it's like
cosmetic
cosmetics
stuff. Yeah,
right.
I bought the standard edition because I've heard that there's enough cool like loot and stuff in the game that like getting the cosmetics doesn't like matter.
Yeah, but it's only like $10.
Older games where it's really.
Do you
good.
want to show off to people in game that you paid an extra $10?
Exactly. It's like, okay, do you want just like you like show someone like, hey, the dice skin on my game, it's white instead of red. Like, whoa.
I've heard that you can export your character from Baldur's Gate 3 into D&D Beyond.
That's
and
cool.
it'll give you a
that is
character
sweet.
sheet of your character.
It runs
Oh my
very heavily
God.
on 5e, so
That's a play. I respect
Yeah.
that.
Cleo? It's 130 gigs.
It's a large game.
yeah. Well, it's
a good game, and it's
I would
big.
say I've heard only incredibly positive things about it.
Yeah.
Same.
Which makes me very excited, but it's also intimidating because it's like, shoot, I'm only 20 hours into my Witcher 3 playthrough, and I know that it usually takes people about 60 hours to beat the main story. And I'm like, ah, man, okay, I gotta beat the Witcher 3 before I dive really far into Baldur's Gate. But
I still got to get through Witcher 1 and 2.
I'm not committing to that. But
yeah,
it's a long haul.
Oh, whoops. Our map is
you know
still
what
the
we
map of the
haven't
Rusty
played
Jungle.
in a while, Jake?
What?
We haven't played
Sniper
Rainbow
Elite.
Six Siege in a while.
I've been thinking about Rainbow Six Siege recently, actually, weirdly enough.
I played it recently, and I was dog shit. But
Yeah, it's kind of a game where if you don't play it for a while, it is like a skill that like it's not like riding a bike. Like you need to really get back into it to get back into it.
oh yeah,
I feel like
But-
that's any game.
I have been thinking the same thing about Warzone. We haven't played any Warzone in like almost
This
a
is
year.
true. This
Half
is
a year
true.
maybe?
Y'all are making me reminiscent and nostalgic for playing Sniper Elite and just crazy stuff with y'all back in the day.
yo,
Wow, there's a game we haven't played in ages. And it
Yeah,
was
I still
fun,
have it
too.
installed.
Then the fourth one came out, and I remember
We were
I
all
played,
like, let's buy it, and then we never played it.
I played it on stream, I think twice, and then
I
not
thought we
anything
played it
beyond that.
together. Was it 4 or 5 that came out?
I think
maybe
you're
it's
right.
5.
It's 5 that came out, and
Yeah.
we were like, we should get
Okay.
it, and never played it.
I was
We
about to
played
say I
Sniper Elite
have
4.
4.
Yeah,
And
you're
say
right.
five came out. I played it on stream, I think like twice.
I just
and
punched
then,
my mic. I apologize.
That's okay.
That's so
Punch
rude
it.
of you. I will never forgive you ever.
I've just been so into
Punch
single player games recently that I haven't really played any multiplayer games because I've been doing The Witcher 3 and then another game called Remnant 2, which is like a third person shooter Souls-like.
Oh, interesting.
Which has been really fun. It only came out like a month ago, and it's like also a partially what's it called? Not AI generated, but procedurally generated game. So like different playthroughs are different as far as like the level design goes and the order in which some of the things like the bosses come in and stuff. But yeah, no, that game's been super fun. It's also like the first AAA game to be besides Fortnite to be released on Unreal Engine 5. That's like a random thing, but
Which one?
it's called Remnant 2.
Remnant 2.
It is really good. But
The
anyway.
mysterious Halo that either does or doesn't exist either is or is not being written on Unreal Engine 5.
I think it's been confirmed that the next Halo will be on Unreal Engine 5, but I think the other thing that was like a rumor is that the reason why it's taken so long for the Battle Royale game to come out is
Yeah, they're
because
supposed
they
to merge
started
them.
it. Yeah, well, they started it in
Just not the
Slipstream or
rumor.
whatever, and then they're supposedly transferring it over to Unreal 5. Which
Hopefully
is
they
causing
keep
an
all of
extra delay.
the exceptional gameplay from Halo Infinite, because I think it plays as the best Halo multiplayer of any Halo.
I agree. I think
And
that
I say
like
that
it's,
as a complete Halo 3 sellout.
yeah. I think that Halo Infinite's like gameplay is like the perfect melding of some of the newer mechanics they put in Halo 5 with the older feel and mechanics of the older games.
Yeah.
Is Unreal 5 the newest?
Yeah.
It's the newest Unreal Engine.
Technically
a lot of
5.1
people
now, I think, right? They just came out with
I
the
think
next-
that's correct. A lot of people really like it because it's like real-time rendering engine is so powerful and fast that a lot of things that you would used to put into like details as far as like on objects as textures, you can now actually make as geometry, and it renders just as fast and as easily as if it was a texture.
Imagine not having to optimize shaders before you play a game.
Fair.
So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like it. It also something to do with the way that it handles ray tracing is really good too. I don't know how exactly that stuff works, but
so
Remnant 2 looks very good. Like I think it's a good looking engine for sure.
So
yeah, I don't know where I was going with that one.
cool.
Yeah, it's good talk.
Yeah,
Good talk.
love it. Great chat.
So
Hear me out.
hear me out.
Okay, hear me out.
What's the plan of the order for today?
I didn't know holy crap Josh was a new sound. I like that.
Watch put that in there. The plan for tonight is the plan of what we're doing.
Which one are we doing first?
We're doing the plan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Actually, Cleo and Trevor, you missed the plan because we actually talked about the plan on stream last week, and
Yeah.
I feel betrayed.
I don't know.
I feel like somebody told me.
You feel betrayed? You no called and you feel betrayed?
Wait a minute.
Okay, in all seriousness, the plan knows
you didn't
exactly
no-call,
where it is
no-show?
at all points in time.
We knew
because the plan knows where it
Wait,
is.
did I wait?
Last week Cleo didn't no call no show. Cleo wasn't there, but we knew for like months in advance.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's in scheduling conflicts even before Trevor's thing, I think, because we were at the beach.
Oh, I totally missed it. I'm so
Cleo
sorry.
even checked
I didn't
with
mean
me
to
that
give you
day.
more crap than necessary.
Cleo even checked with me that
so
day. Like,
sorry.
I'm not supposed to be at D&D tonight, right? And I was like, no. You and I are not going to D&D
Yeah, you
tonight
said you
because I'm
and I
driving.
are not going.
Well,
Yeah.
no one told me specifically.
I just
was
forgot
the
my
one
weeks,
hosting.
and I thought Jake was roasting you about sleeping through that one session and then being upset about it. That's what I thought was going on.
No. Okay, I'm so sorry, everybody. I totally forgot about that. Or
Cleo, we
in
have
my
to
head
face
right
the
now-
uncomfortable truth that you've missed enough streams that we don't know whether or not you missed the most recent one at any given time.
I have always given forewarning.
We only know which streams Cleo is at by knowing which streams Cleo isn't at.
I have missed like 4 tops.
It'd be like that.
This year.
A long pause as
Nice.
Cleo mentally goes back and realizes, okay, this year.
Well, that's what I intended, but then I realized like somebody could be like, "Oh no, let's go back." I'm like, "Oh well, I'm talking."
You're like,
Run
don't
it-
check the
run it back,
receipts.
run
Don't
it
check
back.
the receipts.
This is not the table. This is some other table. That's the
This is some
soundbite I
other
want.
table.
Watch, if you ever have a chance to find that soundbite and put it in there. That's the one I really want. This is not the table. This is some other table.
I mean, it's easy to find out which episode that's in.
Oh, I'm.
There's no source book.
Spear.
The source book doesn't say no. Is a dumb reason to not try something cool.
The source book doesn't say so. That's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Excuse me. What?
If you want to do
I've
something
been-
cool and the source book doesn't support your ambition, you should try anyway because the GM always trumps the source book. So if it's
That
fun
is
and
the-
cool
yeah.
at the table, then you should do it. It's
Should
the rule
I
of cool
buy?
written differently.
Should I buy hard copies of the 5e source books? I've been
Only
debating
one.
about it for
New
a while.
versions of them are going to come out in a year.
Oh, that's true.
So if you're going to buy hard copy versions, you should wait until those ones are out.
I just am a big fan of supporting physical media, and I realize that I play D&D every week and yet don't support the physical media of
Well,
D&D.
The other thing to consider is even if you want the old version of the source books, when the new ones come out, the old versions are going to be,
Will be
butt
cheaper.
cheap.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
does it look like your mouse is going back and forth along the buttons?
Because that's exactly what it's doing.
Is that like your Like your shaky leg, like
No, it's my idol. I'm watching for it to be 750, but it just became 750. So
No,
now
it's
we're going
it's
live.
his stanky leg actually.
That's right. Dude, a
Won't
stanky
the-
leg. Stank.
Won't the new source books also come with a digital copy though?
The new
heard
source
that.
books will come with a
They're-
code you can redeem on D&D Beyond, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe it's discounted though. I don't think it's free.
Oh.
I think you. Last I heard, it was like a bundle. You could pay extra to have them bundled
Yeah.
together,
Didn't
or
they
you could
also-
buy just the book or buy just the digital copy.
Yeah, but who
Didn't-
knows what they're going to do?
I was gonna say because didn't they announced that whole like digital tabletop tool and then they canceled it, right?
Oh,
Did
they
they cancel
canceled?
it?
I didn't
I
know
heard
they canceled
that.
it.
Let me check. My brother told me that. Maybe and he could be off base. We'll see.
Also, Jake, if you are interested in physical books, buy them from a game store. If you have a
Yes,
friendly local
that's
game
a-
store nearby, because you get
that's
the
a
cool
good idea.
holographic, like alternate covers on them and stuff.
You also get to
This
go
is
to a
true.
cool game store.
And support that cool game store.
And no, it looks like last year D&D officially sunset an application called D&D Virtual Table, which was built for 4th edition but wasn't ready when it launched. Like it launched broken, basically.
Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, so I think Tate lied to me, or at least was misinformed by his friend who told him that. So great. I'm glad that they haven't canceled it because I was actually really excited about that. Because I see from literally Polygon did an article 3 days ago. No, a year ago. Never mind. That's August 2022.
Yeah. Get your
March
dates
28th,
right.
2023. It says on dicebreaker.com that
Dicebreaker.
that at some point
Imagine
this
going
year
live
there's
and
gonna
not forgetting to do the title in the go live.
Who are you, me?
I know. What am I doing here? I'm rusty. It's been 2 whole weeks since I streamed last.
Okay, so there still is a on the D&D Beyond blog. Let's see
Nice.
here. Yeah. From March this year, they did a in-depth blog on like what's going to be included in the virtual tabletop and stuff. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to break anyone's spirits falsely about the virtual tabletop.
broke- Broken
How
my spirit.
dare you? My
Falsely,
spirit is
when you-
shattered.
He didn't mean to.
When you accused me of missing no showing,
I'm
in the
sorry,
last week.
I totally forgot.
I love that
totally
you just took something that happened off stream and couldn't have been like publicly brought back, and you were like, "No, the people need to know that I've been wronged."
People need to know.
And if Tate is listening right now, you were wrong. Someone misinformed you. The virtual tabletop tool is not canceled.
Everyone is wrong about everything right now, except
I
me. I'm
think
the DM.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, Josh, you're so right. Go you. Anyway.
That really killed the conversation. I don't know what.
So we'll just let that one ride in silence for a little while.
It's one of those interesting things. Being friends with a lot of people who are into D&D, but having multiple distinct groups of friends that are into D&D, it's very interesting discussing with them what their thoughts are on 1D&D. Because I feel like in this group, you know, whenever it's discussed, it's with general optimism and like, oh yeah, I'm open to whatever changes they're gonna make. This sounds like an interesting thing. And I have another friend and kind of his D&D group, but I talked to them about it, and they're all very, very excited about it. And then I have another group that whenever I talk to them about it, they're all like, 5th edition is basically perfect. I don't know why they're changing everything. That's just stupid. They just want more money. It's so and it's like, okay. It's just interesting that like there's so many distinct opinions about it, and I don't know if I have a huge strong opinion about it.
One
but-
opinion, and that is 5th edition is not perfect.
You should assemble a roundtable conversation by choosing one person from each group of your friends and hosting a panel.
I very distinctly could. Yeah, there's people who have very strong opinions about it that I could totally just put into one group, and then we would have probably a riveting discussion on the merits and demerits of 1D&D.
I haven't looked at enough of 1D&D content to have an opinion on it yet.
I'm
I
just
would
going to
say
swap
I'm in
the
a similar
Daggerheart.
camp.
I'll tell you what I was reading through last night is Avatar Legends, the core source book, and it looks really fun, you guys.
Yeah,
The
It looks pretty cool.
it does. I've when I last time, not the last time I was there, but like 2 times ago when I was up there with you, Josh, I remember I did the same thing. I looked through it and also was.
it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
I was also just like very interested in the extra lore that was in there because there's a lot of stuff that happens in the comics that I didn't know about.
Is that canon?
Yeah.
We also backed it at a high enough level that we got PDFs of all the expansions for it. So there's like 7 other PDFs that are like whole separate books that we have.
Oh, nice.
I may even have downloaded them already.
I believe I read the comics that happened in between Korra and Avatar: Last Airbender.
I read one of them after reading through that source book because I was intrigued by it. And personally, I was like, oh, this is definitely aimed at kids in a way that I think is more aimed at kids than even the show. And so I was kind of like, I don't know if I need to keep reading these, but it was very
pretty
fun
campy.
that they did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Daggerheart?
No, I don't.
Nope.
I don't know about Daggerheart.
It's the new D&D-esque role-playing system that Critical Role is developing and putting out.
Oh, yes. I've heard about Daggerheart. I just haven't seen any of it firsthand.
They did some test games at Gen Con recently, so some details of the mechanics are coming out and getting leaked. It looks kind of interesting. The big hot take that I kind of took away from it was it uses 2d12 instead of a d20.
Base 12.
And you have certain stats, but like the way that the rolling works is one of your d12s is a fear dice and one is a hope dice. And so you set a DC, right? So like you have to beat a 15 or whatever. You roll both of them, you add the results together, and if you go beat the DC, you succeed. But if your hope dice is a higher total than your fear dice, you get a bonus. So it's kind of like how we do banes and boons. And if your fear dice is higher than your than your hope dice, then like a negative consequence happens, even though you do succeed.
That's cool.
And then your criticals happen on doubles.
That's actually not entirely dissimilar to the Avatar game. The Avatar game has like depending on how well you beat, you roll 2d6 for everything, and depending on how well you beat your DC, there are other things that you can get. So there's like a lucky twist, a major benefit, a minor scrape, and like a major loss or something like that, or like the 4 tiers of like things that get added, and that's in addition to whatever your actual check is.
Right.
So, quick question.
What's up?
Yeah. Wow, wake up, Cleo. God, I
You
forgot
probably
it.
should. That's the answer. Yeah, you probably should wake up.
Wake up, Link. Wake up.
Oh, Cleo, open your
just-
eyes.
I was like absent-mindedly picking up my nails, and I just lost the question.
Don't step on those nails. That would really hurt. You might have.
We
to
were
get a
talking about
tetanus shot.
2d12s. We were talking about
All right, listen
the
here, you
Avatar
little-
system with 2d6.
We were talking about jury nullification.
Yeah, shut up. It was something about the D12.
It was like how
How do you get
Okay.
crit failure?
1.
I don't remember. They mentioned it in the video, but I don't remember.
In the Avatar
Because-
game, a critical failure is anything below a 4.
On a D12?
Well, you
On
roll
a
2d6 for everything.
No, 2D6.
So, but anything below a total roll of 4.
So if you
Okay.
roll a 1 and a 2, or 1 and 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1, 1, 2 and 2, or 1 and 2 are your crit fails.
Oh, so 4 included.
Yeah, 4 is included.
Oh, okay.
I think. I mean, I only read the source book like just last night, so that's a lot of source for me to try and retain. But I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah.
Josh, you can't remember everything you read on the first go?
It's wild.
Only when it's Ruby.
Also,
Anyway.
those pictures on the loading screens, I forgot how sick those are with the minis.
Aren't they
Yeah.
fun?
Yeah,
They are fun.
Hey, for totally scientific and unrelated to the actual content reasons, you should bring your minis when we're all in the same place.
Oh,
Just saying.
I think I don't know if I have one for Fox.
You left yours here, and I was like, well, okay. I live right down the road from you. Yours
I don't
is sitting
have
on
one
my
for the
piano.
current character I'm playing.
The Fox one?
Yes, Fox is standing on my piano.
Fox is also on the current loading screen with Zoth. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rip that guy.
R.I.P.
Huh.
So anyway, you guys want to play D&D?
I feel like
I
I'm being
suppose I
gaslit,
could.
but okay.
Yes.
I feel like I'm
Trev?
being gaslit.
Trevor, if you want to go on Hero Forge and make a miniature for your character, whichever character
Okay.
you're going to play when we are in person,
Bruiser.
get it to me ASAP, and I will try to get it printed and
Okay.
painted.
Yeah, I could have it to you tomorrow.
Wow,
That's pretty ASAP.
ASAP Rocky is a rapper.
Oh, I almost went there, and then I was like, nah. And then Jake
But
was like,
I'm
yeah, I
pretty
got
sure
it.
I'll be playing Bruiser unless we're running a whole entirely different one-shot session thing.
Well, then you can just
Nope.
use the Wing Badger mini that that Josh has.
That's true.
Yeah.
We do have a winged badger here. He just will be carrying an axe, but you can pretend it's his crowbar.
ASAP Rocky is also married to Rihanna, so good for him.
Jake is just like over here telling us all about ASAP Rocky.
I'm only familiar with ASAP's fables.
Okay, quick announcement before we start our game tonight. The tension dice this evening will only apply to Bruiser and Gunner.
Ooh.
They will not apply to Fox because Fox tonight will be attuning to the Rod of Charisma. Now, Cleo, we got to have a little heart-to-heart here really quick before we start the
Okay.
game. It's the same. You've heard me have this heart-to-heart with
I
other
don't
people.
love you that way.
Yeah, but we need to cover this because you need to realize like the Rod
I
of
do.
Seven Parts is an ancient and powerful artifact of cosmic
Yeah.
proportions, and the attunement challenge will be significant. It will have permanent and lasting consequences whether you succeed or fail that will stretch beyond the experience you're going on tonight. With that in mind, do you still want to take on this component of the game?
I mean, I can't say no. What would be like? I go through all this. We're like, yeah, this is our plan tonight. I'm just like, nah.
I'm
No,
just
you
saying.
can. You can, pup. You can totally. You
The
can
thing
totally
about the
turn it
Rod of
down.
Seven Parts is that if you die in the game, you die in real life. So
Excuse me.
It's that powerful.
My lawyer needs to listen to
It's
this
one of the
recording.
changes they're making in 1D&D. So you know, fifth edition.
Death saves are really important in one day.
Yeah.
A lot is riding on them.
You only get one character, they say.
This is the new version of Jumanji.
that's
All right.
hilarious. Okay.
Of course, I'm about to do it. I've already like, I can't back out
Okay.
now.
Cool. Just making
Just say
sure.
you got a tummy ache. Call in sick.
Yeah, actually, Josh, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
I'm in a tunnel. I'm going through a tunnel. I can't. Interference.
Ignore the camera. I'm
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah, way less effective with a camera on.
I'm just like, just knock the camera back. Whoa, earthquake!
My house is being attacked by aliens.
Just
only
in
the basement.
Yeah, just in the basement.
Because you have 2 feet from the same house. It's like, oh, my internet's going. Trevor's like, what do you
I was
mean?
like, that's interesting. Mine is fine.
Yeah. Trevor would be the one to not back me up and just be like, I don't understand. It's perfectly fine.
Trevor'd be like, just come up here. You can share the mic with me. We got it. Cleo slinks into the frame. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah.
It already cost a leg, so
Gunner,
Fox is invested.
Bruiser.
Damn right.
The two of you are sitting inside the cipher truck. You've been moving for a long time, but you're approaching your destination, and so you're thinking back on your kind of briefing with Elaine Mollusk before you left Geim. You've got a dossier of notes in front of you. Gunner's probably got some blueprints for where you're going. Bruiser's got, maybe a map of the surrounding area. And you're remembering back to the conversation with Elaine as she said, now remember, this is a fraught situation. You're sneaking into an occupied area, the holdings of the Dwarvish clan Trukta. According to Owlin's reports from his last visit there, this town has a massive bazaar outside its walls for trade. That's your way in. You disguise the cipher truck as a merchant carriage of some kind and arrive in town to sell your goods. They should let you right into the town so that you can stow your carriage and find a room for the night. Once you're inside, you'll need to get to the Hall of Artifacts, a sort of museum. This place is the pride and joy of Clan Trekta, so you're sure to meet some clever traps and defenses in there. I advise you to take the first day in town to make any preparations you can. Then you can choose whether you should go in during the day while it's open to the public or whether you go in at night when it's closed. But in either case, it is essential that you get away cleanly. You're stealing the Book of Exalted Deeds, and without it, literally, we cannot beat the aboleths. That was a really impressive dramatic pause of the wagon. Without it, we cannot destroy the aboleths. You're going to need to go directly
Stoplight.
from Clan Trekta. You're going to need to go directly from Clan Trekta's holdings to Thraxenhau's domain. You're not going to have time to lose pursuit or to hide in the mountains, so you need to get away clean. Here's a picture of what the Book of Exalted Deeds looks like, and she hands you a really nice painting and whatever, and that painting is now in your dossier in front of you. And here's a map of the way to Thraxenhau's domain from when you leave. Bruiser is now holding that. The King of Udra would prefer if you didn't destroy the artifacts in the museum, but he does say that if you need to blow up pretty much anything else, he'll smooth it over later. Just don't get caught or ID'd. If you fail this, we cannot defeat the aboleths. I've stashed a repair kit and some cosmetic tools in the truck for you to disguise it, Bruiser. Okay, good luck. So, describe for us all what the Cypher truck looks like as, trailing a little water from crossing Misty Run River, Bruiser is following the well-worn dirt road over the hills of Udril towards the wooden walls of Clan Trekta's holdings.
So Bruiser would have probably made it look like kind of his home, with like his home business of like being able to find things, but also being a procurer of various trinkets, and so it's kind of operating as like a thrift store almost, but also advertising his ability to find things.
So is it like a mix of a private detective for items and a thrift store? Like,
Yes.
like there's a word for that.
My name's Seller, and his name's Finder. And together, we sell and find.
That's awesome.
I love it.
The two of you approach the large bazaar. You know, it's two massive tents. They're permanent tents, so it's canvas stretched over metal beams that are mounted into the ground, standing upright. Very wide tents, wide enough for 4 different rows of cellar stalls. And as you approach, you're getting ready to head into the town, but far away from where this is happening, in the southern section of Urada, something else is going on. Fox, Jeb. Under a dark night sky, you sit in the shade of a strange stone obelisk. Nobody knows precisely what purpose the gods had in mind when they created Stonefield. The large swath of obelisk stretched across the southwestern part of Urada like spikes on a porcupine's back. But tonight they're completely practical as they shelter you from the rain. Your small fire, shielded as well as you're able by a small berm of dirt that Jeb has dug, keeps you warm even as stray raindrops occasionally sting your face. In your hand, Fox, is a 1-shin-long rod of wood with gnarled roots twisted into its base. As you hold it, a tune plays in the back of your mind, vaguely familiar, and you know that to focus in on that music would bring you into the challenge of attunement. The swirl of the musical notes in the back of your mind mixes with the final kind of parting words of your parents as you last saw them on your way to this point. And as you sit there with Jeb next to you, bring us into what's going on in Fox's mind as he's kind of figuring this out, and especially like what are the thoughts that are going to like push him over the edge and into attunement to the rod? You know, how does he get to this place?
Fox sits there and is just kind of running his hands over the rod, kind of not with any purpose, but just to do something with his hands as he sits there and thinks about, you know, all of the information he has learned in just a short amount of time, how his parents were in on it the whole time of like trying to fight the aboleth before we even knew what was going on, how they hid it from me for almost my entire life, and just now realizing that like I'm now part of the fight that they were a part of and that I don't think. I think Fox is feeling a little trapped. I don't think he sees an escape out of this, right? It's almost like a sense of duty that he can't get rid of. And I think he's looking down at the rod with a little bit of fear, realizing that, the rod, the price could be anything, and it is always very taxing. And they took Zoth away. One of the rods took Zoth. So, but like I said, on the other hand, I don't think he sees out an alternative. And he looks to Jeb as a distraction. Wants to see what Jeb's up to.
What is Jeb up to?
Jeb is kind of bundled up in a cloak, trying to keep the rain off of him. He's sitting on the dirt with his knees tucked up into his chest, and he has one of Fox's spare daggers that he's been kind of trying to train himself with to make himself not so useless, and looking a little fish out of watery, just a dude on the surface with a dagger. And but he sees the pensiveness in Fox's eyes. You okay over there, pup? You look like you got a lot going on between your ears.
Yeah, sorry, Jeb.
No apology. What's going on?
I mean, with this storm as it is, and this being a nice shelter and all, I figured this was probably the best time to do it.
Makes sense.
I don't know. It's a lot of weight,
I know. I
guess.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
You've done it, yeah. Do you have any advice?
Well, I don't really know what's in that one, so I don't really know anything specific.
That's
other
kind of
than,
a dumb question.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that. I mean, it tests your attributes. So I'd say, if anything, focus on your personality and wit, and I mean, you got it in spades, pup. It's... I don't think there's very many people who are more capable and ready for this than you, if I'm being honest. You don't have to. Like, I know it's big, but when it all comes down to the bottom, everything we're doing right now is big. But I think you've gotten pretty big too.
Well, I mean, we've been through a lot.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
right,
remember that time when your mermaid friend pulled his shotgun out and like blew up an arcane generator and the entire building started collapsing, and we had to run out, and then Mr. Prophecy came with the safer truck and was like, bow, 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 come with us if you want to live, and everything. I mean, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Those were simpler times, man.
Unfortunately, but yes, you are correct. Those were the simple times. Yeah, those were the simple times.
Yeah, those were the simple times, I know.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Okay. Well, if the worst comes to pass, and
I'll kill you. No, wait. What?
Well, just let my parents know what I did. make sure Willow's taken care of, and I guess carry it on. He'll be fine. This is gonna be okay.
Jeb
All right.
throws the dagger down into the dirt, blade first, and stands up and looks Fox eye level. A promise.
Okay. Here we go then. And as Fox grabs the rod with two firm hands, with more determination that, if anything, he's going to force his way through this and carry on. He doesn't know if he has the pure determination to do it, but his back is against the wall and he doesn't see another way out, and Fox doesn't lose in those scenarios. So he's just going to push right on through and focuses in on that melody.
In the words of Sir Topham Sav, we win these. And you know what that means? It means it's story time at the Wing Badger Tavern, and we will be right back.
Zanir, Gaunteus, Kotix, Owara. Long ago, the four ancients created a world in harmony. Then, everything changed when the chat amped magic. Only Kelnor, master of good vibes, could stop them, but when the world needed him most, he vanished. 2 years have passed, and four adventurers have discovered a conspiracy, a company selling magic. And although their roleplay is great, they have a lot of XP to earn before they're ready to save anyone. But I believe they can save the world.
Yes, they can. Welcome back to the Wing Badger Tavern. Let's meet our players for tonight's Dungeons & Dragons session.
Hello, I am Jake, and this session will be playing Gunna, the mastermind rogue demolitions expert. He is a hematician. He's a big rock guy, and yeah, that's about all you need to know about him.
Hello, I am Cleo. I will be playing Fox this session. He's the changeling rogue who's going through a lot. Lost a leg. It happens. You know how it is. A little bit of bard in him too. But yeah, we're gonna conquer this rod. It's gonna be easy peasy, slice of cake. I didn't jinx anything.
Hello, I am Trevor. This session I will be playing Bruiser, and hopefully for future sessions we'll also continue to be playing Bruiser. He is our resident Wing Badger inquisitive rogue, and that's all you need to know for now.
Hey, I'm Wash, and for the foreseeable future, I'm playing Fuzzy Bones, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing Jebediah Peppermint, the molefolk gun wizard who spits fire and fires spit. But tonight, he's maybe taking a little bit of a backseat and providing moral support for his best friend in the whole wide world, who he has complete faith in and is going to support him 110%. Because that's what heroes do.
Maybe showing up as a shoulder angel too. You know, there's a lot of openings for shoulder angel activity in a split party session like this. My name is Josh. I am the Wing Badger Game Master for this evening. And without further ado, let's jump into tonight's Dungeons & Dragons adventure with Fox. Fox, as you close your eyes, the world stops. The sound of the rain abruptly halts. Even if you had opened your eyes, you wouldn't see anything. With your eyes closed, even the flicker of the firelight through your eyelids dies away into a sort of neutral gray, and all there is the sound of that tune just kind of surrounding you, increasing, and slowly you begin to become aware of a different world kind of forming around you. You become aware, it's almost like a mist that's resolving into things. You have not personally experienced the ethereal plane, but Jeb has. And when he described it, this is a little bit what it was like. Except that instead of being all grayscale like the ethereal plane is, this one's in bright, vivid colors. You can hear the din of a crowd not in the room with you, as if you've got a wall between you and the crowd. As you begin to look around, you take in the cobblestone ground and the brick walls that are kind of near you and around you. You look down at yourself and you actually see that you have a sign It's draped around your neck by a small twine rope, and the sign just has a number 4 on it, a big number 4. You're not 100% sure what that means necessarily at this moment, but there's a sign on it there, and kind of suddenly and out of the blue, you hear like music kick in, and you see a bard followed by a small troupe of musicians walks up to you. Welcome back, everybody, to the pre-contest interviews here at Rod-a-palooza Battle of the Bands. We're here live with a Lily Fox piece. Lily, thanks for taking a few moments to chat. Now, you know the rules. Every troupe or performer is going to get 60 seconds to make their first impression on those rowdy Rod-a-palooza crowds. For those 60 seconds, every time you do something that leans on a charisma-based skill successfully, you'll earn 1 advantage to spend later in the competition. Make sure to call out the skill your statements are using. I'm sure there are some great-hearted players out there who will keep track of how many skills you lean into and call out during your interview, so that at the end we can make all your rolls to see how the world reacts. Are you ready? Let's go. And she holds the microphone out to you. 60 seconds now.
All right. First thing, let me tell you, this is actually my microphone. I know that you're giving it to me right now. It might be a little weird, but this is actually my microphone. I lost it backstage. If you wouldn't mind, like, giving that back to me, I'm gonna, I might have to persuade you of that.
There's
but
one.
it's just how it is. And once you do give it to me, I can show off a little bit of my saxophone skills, do a little performance for you, But if that isn't enough for you, I mean, I could do a little magic for you, a little deception of the eyes, per se. A little bit of a master of that. But if that really doesn't do it, I might just have to stab you with intimidation. So
20 seconds.
I just don't. And if you're really gonna make me do it, I might just have to beg. All right. Is that what you want me to do?
Is that your charisma saving throw?
Yeah, I think maybe that's a good point. Maybe a charisma save is called for here. That is the end of your 60 seconds. All right, Lily, thank you for that brief introduction. We'll let you get backstage. Go ahead and find your green room so we can ready up for the big competition. Fox, why don't you roll? I counted three skills relied on, and maybe 1 charisma save at the end. Players, do you agree? Is that what we got?
I believe that the intent was 4 or 5 different things.
Which ones did you measure? I might have just missed them.
Well, there was the persuasion at the beginning. There was the deception, like lying, saying that he could do magic. There was the
Performance.
Intimidation, the performance. That's 4, and then jokingly, that's kind of the 5, the begging of the saving throw.
Okay, great. So each player, I would like you to roll a d10. Together, we're going to determine how tough of a crowd we've got at Rod-a-palooza. What the DC will be for Fox's different skill checks here.
What the DC will be?
Yeah, what the DC
3.
doing? Okay,
I got a 4.
Okay, that's 7 total.
I got a 1.
Okay, this is an easy crowd here at Rod-a-palooza.
Let's go!
The DC will be 8 for all 4 of these checks. So that's what was that? A persuasion, an intimidation,
performance.
Yep, and a deception. Was that the last one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll those. Doesn't matter what order. Just let us know if you pass. If you're rolling against
Cleo's
8
modifiers are higher than 8.
For some of them.
Just don't roll
I
a 1.
could roll a nat 1.
Yeah, and that ones will still wreck you here.
Wow. Okay. Am I doing the deck save as well, or the charisma save as well?
Sure, you can roll the charisma save to avoid me giving you disadvantage on one of your rolls.
Okay. So I passed the first 3.
Okay.
Which was deception, persuasion, and performance.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I rolled like 8 or above for, and then I
Nice.
rolled a 2 for intimidation, plus my measly 5 means 7.
Okay, so that's 1 fail.
So 1 fail, and then I rolled a nat 20 for the charisma save.
Nice. So because of the charisma save, we won't give you the Rod's permanent consequence on that failure. We will just take, so you just don't get an advantage on there. So
Yes.
Wash has a hand up.
This is important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fox is level 11 right now, correct?
Yes.
He can be. Yes, I don't know if Cleo did it, but yes, he should be.
That means you have reliable talent, which means any role that you would add your proficiency bonus to that is a 9 or lower becomes a 10. You can't roll lower than a 10 on skill checks.
So the DC was impossible for him to fail.
Let's go.
Jeb's shoulder angel whispers in your ear, and you go, I think I did better than that.
I did not have it as intimidation as one of my.
Okay, so that one
so
you're not actually
proficient in that one. Okay,
I'm not proficient in intimidation.
Okay,
no.
Okay, so we still have just the one fail. So you get 3 advantages, which you can spend at any time as we move forward through the attunement process here.
Okay.
You can choose when you know what you have rolled, but not after I have said whether it's a success or a failure. If that makes sense. So like you can roll once and then say, you know what, I need my advantage on this. But once I've adjudicated the consequences, that's what's happened. Is basically what I'm saying. Okay, so we zoom back into Fox in this moment. He's just finished up his interview. The lady who was interviewing, her bardic troupe is kind of settling down and retuning instruments for the next interview, and she leans in and hands you a map with directions to your green room, and she holds the microphone away from her face to whisper, okay, so Rod-a-palooza has been going on for a really long time. Long enough, in fact, that some creatures have actually died tearing it up on stage, and some of them haunt the green rooms here, and they're a little confused. So to get everything you need for your performance, you might have to convince them to let you get into the costumes closet, the instrument room, and the snack machine. But, I'm just saying, you might have to kind of persuade them. But this is a charismatic contest, right? You should be fine. But, be quick about it because you're doing stage pretty soon. And she shuffles you into the building.
Okay.
As Fox begins making his way down a long brick and flagstone hallway in the sort of underbelly of the arena for Rod-a-palooza, we cut from there to a back to northern central Urida, if you will, where a cipher truck is rolling towards the gates of Clan Tructa's holdings. Now, you've been to Clan Tructa before in this game, but Bruiser and Gunner have not. And so as you approach the gatehouse, there are no friendly faces to see, nothing like that. But you do note that the general tone and morale here is pretty positive. It doesn't seem that, anyone is too bogged down by the occupation. However, on the walls, the big wooden walls that kind of loop around Clan Tructa's holdings, you do see private security goons kind of doing some rounds, walking around them. And you even see a couple of creatures you've not seen before, 4-legged, almost like guard dogs would be, except they don't look like guard dogs. They're kind of almost like sort of like the quality a mimic has, where it's kind of like they flit between forms as they're walking. They kind of just ooze from one shape into another shape. And it makes the general impression of walking, but they're not really lifting their legs. They're just changing their shape as they slide forwards so that it looks kind of like legs are moving. So that's happening up on the walls as you approach the gatehouse. At the gatehouse, a fairly bored-looking gate officer leans out. He's got on half-plate armor, but he's got his helmet taken off, sitting on the shelf next to him. Leans out and he says, "Name and business."
Bruiser puts his elbow on the window, pulls down his sunglasses. My name's Finder. I'm here with my colleague Seller. We are a thrifting finding business, so I find things, he sells things, and we go town to town as our business.
What's your business here then? Are you trying to find or sell?
Both. It's one of the services I offer. I find lost things for people, and then sometimes I end up finding things to just sell, and we have a cart full of trinkets and things to sell to people, like a thrift store.
Let me make this clear to you. And he picks up his helmet, but he hasn't quite put it on, but he seems a little bit more engaged in the conversation. He goes, "There'll be no finding within the walls of Clan Tructa. You understand?"
I understand.
This is a place where we respect the property of others. We leave them alone. We don't cause any problems.
Never.
Now, traveling merchants like you are welcome to set up in the bazaar. I'm happy to get you a temporary pass. It's only a few wingle digits to, establish a booth for you. But again, just keep a low profile. We don't need vagabonds coming into our city, causing trouble. making things crazy. Okay, I'll need you to sign here for yourself, and I'm also going to need to. And he steps out with a small ribbon, which he ties around one of the wheels of your cart, and you can see it's got like a number, a serial number, or something like that on it, which he's marked down in a log book to log who's come in and when. So he hands you a paper for your signature.
I sign it as finder.
Okay, and your companion.
Seller.
Gunnar signs it as seller.
Great. All right. Well, go ahead and find yourself somewhere to stay. You know, things are closing up for the evening, so you probably won't have any chance to sell things today, but I'm sure tomorrow or the day after, once you're more established, you'll do just fine out there in the bazaar.
Under his breath in the back, Gunnar will say, "Well, I thought we weren't supposed to find anything."
Do I get the business pass from you, or is that from someone else in town?
Oh, yes, of course. Let me see if I've got any here. Otherwise, you can just go to the town hall and they'll take care of you. And he looks underneath the shelf, and sure enough, he is... let's roll a tension die for that. Oh, yep, I've got one right here. Here we go. And he pulls out a small little writ of permission to sell. He writes your names on it, and he writes, how long do you think you'll be staying?
3 days.
I don't know. Yeah, a few days.
All right, I'll have this expire at the end of the weekend, and then if you need another one, you just come see us or town hall. And he hands you a piece of paper with your permission to sell, basically.
Yep, and I hand him a few wingle digits.
Excellent. You hand him a few wingle digits. You head into the city. Clan Truckta it's a pretty nice area that they've got. As you first enter into the clan holdings, on your left would be like the barracks of the town guard, or now some of the occupiers, private security goons and whatnot. To your right is the holding. It's sort of like the green or the quad of this area. You know, it's like a well manicured tournament field kind of thing. It's not like wild grasses. It's like someone maintains this area. Dead center is the town hall, and just behind that is the sort of governmental power, you know, like the governor's mansion, and right next to that is the kind of council chamber where everyone would deliberate if there was something that needed to be done there. There are a handful of taverns, some small residential huts, all kinds of things like that, just kind of scattered around the area. What will you do?
How close is the like market district to the Hall of Artifacts?
So the bazaar is actually outside the town walls.
Okay.
It is in front of the entrance you just came through. There's only the one entrance in and out of Clan Truckta.
Okay.
So the bazaar is set out just in front. I mean, you know, like 5 feet outside, and you're in the market square.
Okay.
On the inside, the Hall of Artifacts is right next to the town hall. So it's pretty much a dead center in the clan holdings.
Okay.
Well, since it's close to evening, I say we set up a shop, find a spot to lay our heads, and maybe do some scouting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we should just sleep in the cipher truck while we're here. Then we don't have to, like, the less we are places, the better, and less like people have our coin, have seen our faces, the better.
This is true. I think that I like that a lot. People
So we
don't really
just
get
go
attached to our faces.
Yeah, let's go set up shop, and then like if we want to go to an inn or tavern, we probably could, and like just get some gossip.
That's true. We could do that. I don't know if that's necessary for me, but I know that that's your kind of specialty in some cases. So
It is a
Well,
place where people can get attached to your face.
this
It is.
Well, that was a shoulder angel for sure.
Yeah, like there's a
Fox still. Sometimes I still hear his voice. Fox.
he was a good boss.
Yeah. We'll see him again, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah.
We can talk about how important the information is versus us staying low.
All I know is that my face, you know, my beautiful face.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to it sticks out. So
Unfortunately, so does mine.
Well, that's true, but I don't know. You're more likely to get that to your advantage, if you know what I'm saying.
I do, but it's like it's easy to get to know people this way because people are fascinated by my race, as they're not very common. But it also means I stand out as the only one of my kind in an area.
It's totally up to you. I'm not saying like
Yeah.
you need to go do anything. You know,
No.
it was your idea. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm thinking out loud here.
All right. Well, either way, tomorrow I think we should definitely go scout the the Hall of Artifacts, and kind of. You ever hear that story where the National Treasure, where they kind of go and they scout out they steal this very important historical document, but before that they kind of scout out the area in a very in a public setting, and it works really well for them for that heist. It's a famous heist. I don't know how you haven't heard of it, but anyway, we'll go that route, I think.
Prior to our heist, I was kind of only doing like finding things for people, and then obviously the Minecraft races. So those were my two scenes.
Well, sorry, I just didn't quite process what you just said now.
Prior to the heist we did, I wasn't really in the heisting business.
Oh, sure, I get it. Sorry. Sorry, I was thinking about National Treasure.
It's on your mind.
In my mind, yeah.
You'll have to regale me of this epic tale.
Well, tonight I will.
Yeah, tonight.
But let's set up shop and then, decide whether or not you wanna go interact, have some FaceTime in the tavern.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go set up in the Bazaar district.
Sure. So you head back out the gates, really you just make a U-turn because you're at the gates when you get your writ of permissions. You just turn around and go to get a stall.
He does a cool drift, like 360 drift.
Nice.
And then goes out
360?
the gate. Yeah, 360.
Okay, I'm gonna add
and then starts
die.
driving forward again.
Yeah. just puts it in reverse.
Does a 360 and puts it in reverse.
As you're reversing, you look up and the guard at the gatehouse is just staring you down. He's like watching you with like a little bit of that like kind of look in his face. He is not he doesn't say anything, he doesn't call anybody, but you've clearly caught his eye with your ridiculous behavior. And he watches as you reverse into very impressively reverse perfectly into one of the stall locations. On either side of the stall, a couple other merchants are tearing down from the end of their day, and so they look over at you and just like, "What are you doing, man?" And you do that. So I would like, for whichever of you is not scouting, I would like you to roll a check that you can justify to me, for how well you do at selling things the next day, like your cover, basically.
Bruiser will not scout the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think tonight it would be like Gunnar would stay by the truck if Bruiser wanted to go out and socialize and get some gossip that way, but then Gunnar will do like the scouting at the
got it
the place.
Okay. Go ahead, Bruiser. Roll a d4 and add that to your oceans. Both of them have 3 oceans right now, chat, and they can get more by doing prep things.
I get one ocean, sadly.
Congratulations. One more ocean for your collection.
Congratulations.
And then the check he will roll will be probably persuasion to get
persuade people to buy. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. And Gunnar, you can go ahead and roll a d4 to add to your oceans for your next day spent scouting.
Okay. 3.
Nice. Gunnar's got a lot of oceans to work with.
Let's go.
I believe.
How did you do on your persuasion check?
Let's find out.
14.
14. Okay, so you do a reasonably good job of selling your wares. You make a nothing to sneeze at, 200, 250 wingle digits for the day, selling things to just random people at the bazaar. We cut back from here to the Rod of Charisma, where Fox is walking down a long hallway. At this point in time, the other 3 of you have a Discord message for me that's been marked with spoiler tags that I would like you to read to figure out how you will get to contribute to the upcoming scene. As Fox navigates down, it's a couple long hallways. It's your standard, arena area, so you're kind of underneath the building, lower ceilings, heavy brick walls or cement walls, and you do eventually find your green room. It says Lily Fox Peace on the outside of it. It's got a little saxophone icon. and you are able at your convenience to go ahead and head on in there.
All right. I'm gonna just look around. Is there anybody else in the hallways?
Nobody else is in the hallway with you.
All right. I guess I'll knock first, just in case. I don't know.
The three of you hear a knock on the door to the room.
I'm gonna not hear anything, I guess, and just open the door.
All right, you open the door and stride into your dressing room. It is a reasonably well set up green room. It's got, a nice comfy couch on the one wall, a nice big mirror so you can check your costume pieces and all that. There's an instrument room where like the humidity is well controlled and stuff for your saxophone. So your saxophone was brought in here ahead of time by one of the porters. There's a really nicely laid out kind of snack fridge on one side so that you can get some like power food right before you go out there and perform.
Okay.
And there's a costume closet, a place with all different kind of clothing items that you have requested. So whatever you choose to wear is in there. Wash has a hand up. Yes, Wash.
Do I know anything about the physical appearance of this thing that I just read about?
You can make it up as you want. I'm going to get each of you is going to have a chance to introduce yourself as an obstacle here. So Fox, you know that you need to get a costume. You need your instrument. And if you want one, you can get a snack. Let me see here. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I don't lie to you. So for each of these additional preparations that you might make, you'll get an additional chance to make a great impression on the crowd tonight. So you have a total of 3 extra chances to impress the crowd. Basically, during your performance, you'll get a number of skill checks that you can roll to impress the crowd. So the better prepared you are, the more chances you get to succeed. For each failure, your odds of getting to the stage on time get harder.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. And there are a few indistinct kind of shimmering figures in the room that are generally between you and the places you want to go.
Well, all right, let's not waste time. First things first, the most important thing, I think, is to make sure my instrument's actually tuned and ready and, set up. So I'm going to go head for my sax.
All right, you head towards the costume closet.
The instrument closet, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah. Your saxophone is a costume. You're going to dress up as a saxophone.
You're going to be lip syncing.
If you dress up as a saxophone playing a saxophone, they'll never stop you.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you head towards the instrument closet, and there is, unfortunately, there is a figure kind of in your way. Do you want to describe what the incorporeal figure there looks like?
The incorporeal figure there, as you get closer, kind of slowly materializes. You see it's a human man with a giant mohawk. It's so spiky and tall. And
wow.
He's got on kind of this cool combination, like leather jacket / armor going on, where it's like you can tell it's like leather armor, but it's been styled to kind of look like, man, someone would wear this on stage for sure.
Yeah.
But it also
Looks pretty metal.
has some nice protection. And he's got like a lute strapped to his back, but it is a lute that's shaped like a what we would know as like an electric guitar. That's kind of that like arrowhead shape. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
He's kind of standing by the door with his hands in his pockets. And, he's kind of like bobbing his head to some music that you can't really hear. Like, it's not really there.
It's all in his head.
But he's kind of pacing. He's kind of pacing back and forth, and is kind of in his own head, and it takes it a moment for him to see you. And once he sees you kind of approach, he's like, oh, hey man, rock on. Nice to meet you. Fan, I'm sure. He like reaches out his hand to shake.
I just shake it. Yeah, I just shake his hand.
Hey man. I'm not doing autographs right now, but I appreciate you stopping by. What's up?
Actually,
what are you doing?
I'm a fellow performer.
Sweet man, sweet.
Looks like we're sharing rooms.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. If you don't mind. I just need to grab my saxophone. It's just right behind you.
I actually don't. I don't think. I think you're wrong. It's not right behind me. Definitely not through there. And actually, I would really appreciate it if you did not go through there. No reason why. No particular, just I would really do me a solid. I mean, from one musician to another, rock on. Really would appreciate it if you did not ever go in there, actually.
Hey, rock on. But I do need to get back there. And hey, listen, man. If you're stashed something or something, I'm not a narc, man. I ain't gonna rat you out.
I appreciate that. If that was the case, totally would trust you on this. But no, that is not the issue. This is embarrassing. I just
hey, man. If I get it, like. I'm here for you, man. I know we don't usually have a lot of time to really open up to people. So actually this is a perfect opportunity because I'll probably never see you again. You'll probably never see me again. So just unload, man. Tell me what it's about. I won't judge. Judge-free space.
I try to present myself a certain way, very rock on.
You're rocking it, man. Yeah.
That's just me. That's me. But sometimes, deep on the inside, I get nervous. Sometimes, I get scared.
Yeah. We all do, man.
Not very often. But there's someone back there that I really want to talk to. Really would love to make a good impression on. I think she's really cute. But I'm just really nervous.
Okay.
I don't want her to see me like this, I want her, I want her to, rock on, I want her to see me like that. I don't want her to,
right.
But I mean,
first of all, man,
she's so sweet and nice. I'm scared.
You're rocking that personality. Okay. I came up here
man.
and even now as you're open up to me, I can't. You still look uber confident and you're rocking hard, it's crazy. All right. Now, on the other hand, man, anything that a woman, if you really are interested in this girl, right? If you go up to her and show just that little bit of vulnerability, you move up with the rock hard, yeah, rock on. But as long as you open up a little bit, show a little vulnerability, be like, hey, I saw you across the way and I just knew that I couldn't look away from you and I needed to know who you are. Otherwise, I'll lose this opportunity forever and regret it for the rest of my life. If you hit her with that kind of riz, all right, she's going to know, one, if you sit down, drop the rock a little bit, show that vulnerability that you're being honest. Right. And especially in this world, in this staged life, that's going to mean a lot because we're always constantly meeting fans or constantly rubbing shoulders with other personalities. But it's kind of hard to really get to know somebody in those environments. I think you got this, man. It's going to go great, man. Do you want me to, I can wingman you.
Sure, man. As long as you promise you're not going to take her from me, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, all yours, man. All yours.
All right. Man, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. And he reaches out his hand again to shake, and
yeah, shake his hand. Hell yeah.
And so he'll turn around and kind of trying to psych himself up a little bit. He'll open the door for
his hand reaches through the doorknob, and of course does not open the door. Fox.
Okay, no problem. I got this, bro.
Sorry, forgot about that.
Oh yeah, no, you know how this, the stage hands are. They're always messing with us.
Yeah. Stage hands, and he'll wave his transparent hand.
Go, rock it hard, man. Yeah,
rock on.
Okay.
You open the door, and it's just a really shallow instrument closet. Your saxophone is in there in its case, perfectly well tended, and then there's just a bare wall behind it. Sir Shred-a-lot just like marches right on through the transparent
Just
wall to go
floats through
talk to
the
the girl. And you now have your instrument. And so that is one of your preparations taken care of.
All right. Man, I really hope he gets that girl. All right. I grab the instrument and I open it up, check it, make sure it's good and prepped.
Yep, everything looks great to you. You have a couple like little prep pieces you have to do. Get the read on
Right.
there in the right
Get
place
the
and everything,
read,
but get it tuned.
Get it wet and make sure it's getting nice sound out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay. All right. Next, I gotta look my best. So let's head over to the costume.
All right, you're on your way over to the costume closet, but there is a figure who is between you and there. Do you want to describe yourself to us?
With her back to you, you see posed in front of the door a very healthy-looking woman in a red sequin dress with huge curly red afro hair, and she's kind of singing to herself. Oh, hello there, darling. I didn't see you till just now.
Pleasure's all mine. I'm Lily. Nice to meet you. I put
Nice
out
to meet you too, Lily. I'm the
hand.
Duchess. Naturally.
Naturally. Well, like I said, the honor's all mine. If you wouldn't mind, I just need to reach behind you there and...
Oh, I probably would. And she takes a big draw from like one of those 2 cigarette, like long extender cigarette things. I most certainly would, darling.
Oh,
There's
now,
no getting in here, not with my little shining star in there.
what's all this fuss about? Tell me, let's get you all riled up.
Oh, it's not getting me riled up. It's a matter of keeping people like you from riling my little shining star up. You see, she has a lot of potential, and I don't want this old crazy star-studded world weighing down on her shoulders and ruining her life like it has so many people that I know.
I mean, hey, I ain't no star. I'm just a humble man just trying to make his living.
I'm just a humble man just trying to make his living, taking pictures and selling them and,
Whoa,
paintings
whoa.
and here and there, just trying to...
Listen,
I know your
I don't-
kind.
First of all, I don't even know what a picture is.
That old speed painting paparazzi. That's what you are with,
Well, hey, if you need to search me, I got nothing on me. I actually didn't even know there was somebody behind you to see. But I'm here to actually. We're sharing a green room. I'm not sure if you've noticed. I'm about to actually go on stage here in a second.
And
It just turns out your star is in the closet, the costume closet, and I just need to get a costume. I don't want to show up, on stage looking like this.
she kind of saunters up to you with a little bit of a sway and like circles around you, kind of like looking you up and down. You definitely do seem to need some improvements in the dressing area.
If you have,
But I'm
some
sure you can
tips-
find your costume somewhere else.
I actually short on time. That's the only place I see a costume. I mean, if you want to go in there for me and just grab me a costume, I mean, it seems like you're pretty well knowledgeable about this. I mean, you're looking stunning, if you don't mind me saying. And if you could just grab me a costume, bring it to me, I'd be happy with that. I don't need to go in your way.
Oh, I wouldn't want to bother my little shining star. She's much too important for me to get in there and interrupt.
So, let me just lay it to you straight. I do need this costume, but I won't bother your shining star. I'm just going to get a closet. I'll be in 5 seconds, and I'll come right back out. I don't got no easel on me. I got no enchanted brush. All I got
Why do
on
you
me.
need this costume? What are you getting into this crazy old business for? You look like you're a young man who's got other talents.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to get away from some of my other talents. You know, I had this revelation, you know, recently that I can't just live on the streets, moving town to town, just living it up when there's so much on the line. And I'm just trying to move a lot of what I've learned into a bit more of a respectable field. I mean, I've started to learn the saxophone, and I want to say I'm pretty good at it, but I mean, I guess that's for the audience to let me know.
Oh, honey, you are breaking my heart.
I have a lot weighing on me right now. If I don't, it's way more than this audience. It's way more than just the stage. I need this audience's support for something that's a lot bigger than me. And I hope I can just take a sliver of it, and
And what will you do if you get your fancy costume and you go out there with your fancy saxophone and play your fancy song and they don't like it? What are you going to do?
Well, I guess I'll do what I've always done and push right on through. If I can't get the support of this audience, then I'll just have to do it any other way I can. I mean, I'll be honest, I just learned the saxophone because it was interesting and not necessarily because I wanted to be famous. If anything, right now, I want to be quite the opposite. The more people who know me, it seems like the more people want to kill me. I mean, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I've already lost a leg. I've only got one leg to stand on right now. I'm hoping this doesn't take the other from out from under me. So.
You get the sense, Fox, that it's getting like, you know, time is a moving,
Of the
and you're
essence,
starting to get pretty nervous about getting to the stage on time.
Hey, you know what? Listen, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't be bothering you. I was just hoping maybe the costume would give me that little bit extra edge, you know.
You know what, Sugar? I think I'm going to do something for you. You don't cut me as the kind of man who would go around speed painting young talent trying to make a quick dollar. I'm going to let you in, but you got to give me your word. She's the most important thing to me in the world.
You have my word that I will not take any kind of speed painting of your star, your shining, brilliant star. I'm just going to get my costume and head on out.
She blows you a kiss and says, "Knock 'em dead, Sugar," and disapparates.
All right, I grabbed the costume.
All right, you grab the costume. You don't need to tell us about it yet, but you are going to get to describe your outfit when you walk out on stage. I want to know what Fox is wearing. So you can take the next beat on the other side to figure out what Fox is wearing. All that remains, if you want to do any other preparations, is you could go and grab yourself a little power snack.
Is there any kind of signal, light, anything to denote timing?
No, not really. You've got a little sand clock, but it's just kind of trickling down, you know.
Okay. What is it at? Could I approximate?
You think that it's you're probably the next act on stage, but the previous act is still performing right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the snack closet real quick, or snack cabinet, whatever.
You head up to the snack closet, and someone stops you in your tracks.
You see a 600-year-old male high elf with a long gray beard, a wiry gray hair, rugged pink skin that stands 4 feet 9 inches tall, hunched over a cane. What are you doing here, Sonny? Can't you see the light? Recording is in session.
There is no light on the snack closet.
Right. That's the thing. I would just look around. I'm one of the people that's supposed to be in there, and I know.
No. Recording has already started. You'll have to wait your turn like everyone else.
No. I'm the second verse. Right now they're going through the first.
No. They're already recording.
I'm just gonna pull out a knife and be like, "Listen here, old man, if you don't let me in."
He whacks you in the head with his cane.
You don't feel the cane, and you suddenly realize that your knife would not actually hurt him. He would still be there.
Well, of course.
It
but
also it also occurs to you, maybe for the first time, that if you wanted to try and like contest some of these things, there might be some built-in ways in the game for you to contest what other people are doing.
I was about to say I want to roll an intimidation check.
Okay, go ahead and roll your intimidation check, and you can oppose it with just a charisma check, basically, to keep yourself strong and brave. Trevor, don't tell us what you rolled.
Okay.
I rolled 18.
Okay, Trevor, how do you react?
Well, I suppose I could let you in a little bit early, but you must give me something.
What do you need, old man?
Compensation, of course. What does everyone need?
All right, I'm gonna.
I can't pay the bills on my dime. I'm just a roadie.
Bag, and I'm gonna roll persuasion. It's full of barbarians, but I'm gonna be like, "Here's 100 gold coins, if you let me through that door right now." And or I guess deception would be better. I just nat 20 that deception, by the way.
All right. Don't bother rolling anything opposed. We'll go ahead and let Fox grab the snack here.
I just dropped the gold coins through his hands.
Smash on the floor.
I pick up my ball bearing bag again.
Put it back on your belt.
Yeah. And I just grab I grab a quick granola bar, something to, quick little, anything that has like a little lightning bolt symbol on it. I don't know, energy based.
Okay.
Get my electrolytes or something. And I'm going to speed out of there to wherever the next, I guess, like on stage, like on call spot is.
Fox, roll a d20. You need just a straight d20, no modifiers.
Okay.
You
No
need
modifiers.
to roll higher than a 14 to get to the stage on time.
All right. So
Come on, pup. You got this. A little angel.
does a
shows up on your shoulder.
19 pass a 14?
A
I
19
psyched
sure
you out.
does. All right, and as Fox
That's what I'm
races
talking
down
about.
the hallway, saxophone in hand, granola bar wrapper fluttering behind cartoonishly, we cut back over to Clan Truckta's holdings, where a heist is about to get underway. Have the two of you decided to conduct your heist in the night or during the day?
So at the nighttime, during the previous night we started the day, Bruiser would have liked to slink through the shadows to see if he could gain any information, but sort of in the more undergroundy network, if he can become friendly.
Yeah, sure. So Bruiser's able to figure out the possible entrances and exits and a little bit about the defenses. So here's what you've learned, Bruiser. You could get in through a window, a roof, go up to the roof and get in there. The main entrances, or there's a service door around the back. Those are the 4 ways in and out. The artifacts are all displayed on large stone pedestals, or if they're bigger than a pedestal, can hold on a stone table. And then that table has a glass case around it, and all of them has at least one trap defense. Some of the more valuable ones have more defenses, and they're all
Would I know the specific
they're all
type
wingle
of
digit powered.
defenses?
So they're magical in some way.
Okay.
And you know that there is a security force at night. And most importantly, you have learned that the private security goons don't consider the building to be particularly important. So they have some people on the roof and some people outside, but it's only museum security staff who are inside at night or anything like that. So that's what you've been able to figure out.
Okay, when he gets back, he'll relay all that to Gunner, and then Gunner can do anything else during the day when he's working the stall.
Cool. Well, I think with all that in mind, I know the thing that's more comfortable in our established wheelhouse is probably going in at night. If we really wanted to duplicate the successes of our previous endeavors, we could dress up as maintenance workers or some sort of other guards of some sort and go in through the service entrance.
I think that's our best bet. Go in at night.
All right, Let's do it.
Yep. So you're at the front door. I'm gonna spend an ocean from one or the other of you to get the outfits that you're wearing. I think Jake is flush with oceans, right?
So yeah, we'll use one of mine. Yep.
Okay.
So we Gunner would like to see if he can get a security if when he was there in the daytime, was he able to kind of ascertain like what the people who might be there on call inside the if there's some sort of different uniform for people who are supposed to be inside guarding.
Yeah, so that's actually the kind of thing that now that we're here, you would just tell us about in an ocean. I know it's like a frame of mind to get into.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'd like to use an ocean.
But
last night.
But then, yesterday when Gunner was... There we go. Let's go. Okay. Gunner, when he was scouting out the museum during the daytime, he made sure to observe what the the interior guards of the museum were wearing. And actually he made sure to I guess like when a couple of them got off their shift, he found a way to corner them and steal their uniforms because we have them now. And
give me your wallet, you see, and your uniform and everything you own. Give me everything.
Wait, so so then let's get a perception check. That's one ocean to study what everyone's wearing.
Okay.
And then you can either use intimidation if you're going to confront them to steal it, or sleight of hand if you're going to try and take it without them knowing you're there.
sleight of hand. We'll do perception and sleight of hand.
Great.
Perception was not very good. That's a 3. I rolled a 2 on the die.
It takes you a long time to figure out which people are security because they're dressed almost the same as the docents inside the museum. You do eventually figure it out, though. It's a particular kind of cardigan and outfit they're wearing.
All right. 14 on the sleight of hand.
Okay, the sleight of hand goes a little bit better. You're able to you do kind of like a bag swap, because their clothes are in a duffel as they're leaving work. So they maybe set it down to lock up the locker behind them, and you do a quick little swap and exit to make your way out. And that brings us back to the present, where Gunner is dressed as museum security. And Bruiser, what outfit was stolen for you? How do you want to be dressed?
Bruiser will probably go for the same uniform to be internal security.
Just 2 security guards walking up to the museum. One of the private security goons standing outside looks at you as you approach. Hey, what are you doing here? What's your business? Museum's closed.
It's new. It's a new night shift we're trying out. In case someone tries to take something in the night, got to test the new security systems, etc.
There's already a night shift in here.
We're the night shift testers, the testers of the new security system. We're the night shift, but we have a bit of expertise on.
I didn't get no orders about none of that.
We've been sent here to evaluate how the night shift is doing.
Gunner is gonna just take a couple steps forwards towards the guy who said I didn't get no orders for a night shift. These are your orders for the new night shift. And if he can roll intimidation,
that's fine. Go ahead. Yep. You can tell me you want to lean into a skill and roll it.
Okay, cool.
I am the order.
I have rolled a 2 and a 3 and a 4 on my D20 so far tonight.
Well, don't do that.
I can't believe that. I have a +7 on intimidation, so that's a 10 total.
Okay.
Bruh.
You get right in his face and he goes, "No, these are orders." And he holds out a sheet of parchment and shoves it in your face, too close for you to read, but it's obviously some kind of official document. And he goes, "No orders, no entry." You're starting to make me wonder if you're not up to actually trying to break through the defenses.
Well,
could I use an oceans?
You sure can.
Could Bruiser forge an order form? Like an official
Absolutely.
order?
Yeah, go ahead and roll sleight of hand or deception. Let's use deception for this. Roll deception to forge an order form.
Perfect.
I don't know why, but you were
27.
27 is how convincing it is. Let's see how this guard does. If I can find my...
Josh's response gave me the vibe of it's almost like you're trying to break in and then run out in the middle of the night, but you wouldn't want to do that now, would you?
The guard looks really closely at your forged document. He goes, I haven't seen that signature before, but I don't know everybody in the museum. And then you hear a voice from around the corner go, "Hey, Biff, a break's up. You want to come play some cards?" He goes, "Yeah, whatever." And he rolls it up and hands it back to you. Knock yourself out. And he walks around the corner to go play cards with his friend. You have successfully gotten past the private security goon at the service door. And you creak open the door, and before you is the Hall of Artifacts. Big old museum. It's got 4 floors. There's, plenty of cool objects in glass cases. At a quick glance, you don't see any books on this floor. It's not like it's not in pride of place. There's like a cool skeleton and maybe a cool, relic or carving or something on this floor, but you don't see any books on this floor.
Were the guards that went to play cards, were they all the ones outside?
Yes, they were the only 2 on the ground outside. There are guards on the roof, like we said before.
Okay, got it. Shall we head to the second floor?
Yes, I believe we should. Remember, I think if people ask us what we're doing around the artifact, our cover is that we're inspecting the security systems.
Yeah,
All
making
right.
sure they're in place.
Perfect. And I am very glad that we brought this replacement book. And I would like to use an in the market stall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gunnar purchased the most ornate and special looking book he could find, and based on the
From the
drawing
gift shop.
or painting from the gift shop. Yes, from the gift shop. It's National Treasure. Just like National Treasure. And he's gonna find a replica of the book from the gift shop.
Okay,
That
roll
story you
investigation
told
to see how good of a... Actually,
He would
let's-
he would like to get 2 replicas of the book from the gift shop, just like National Treasure, so that once we steal it, one of us can have the real one and the other one has a replica. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways,
and actually, instead of investigation, roll deception to see how convincing the replica you find is. So
Okay.
this will be the DC for someone to know that it's a fake.
okay,
Come on, Jake.
okay, much better. 24.
Excellent. Book is 24 convincing.
So we have 2 replica. So just to recap and remember, we have 2 replicas. We're gonna steal the real book, put one replica back on the pedestal, and then one of us, doesn't matter which, will have the real book. The other one will have another replica. So if we get
Yes.
separated, there's a chance we can still make it.
Oh,
Yes.
is somebody talking down there? I don't think there were any guards on the lower floor tonight.
A little gnome pokes his head around the corner.
Josh,
Who
would
are
you
I don't know
say?
you.
Would you say that we were talking to that other guard for at least 1 minute?
Sure.
Gunnar can imitate the accent and voice of anyone he interacts with for 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we were just moving in for the new shift. The other guards went outside to play some cards. I mean, take a rest, whatever.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah.
I didn't recognize your voice. Aren't you supposed to be outside?
Yeah, no, we had new orders come in, and he'll kind of like reference to the paper that Bruiser's likely holding. We gotta test the security systems on the second floor. We had some reports of some faultiness, so we just
Roll
gotta
deception with advantage.
make sure everything's working right. Thank goodness for advantage. 19. No,
Great.
dirty 20. Sorry, that's a +7. Dirty 20.
He got a natural 1. So
Yeah, of course. Go right ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
and he
Thank you.
goes back about his business.
I just, I heard a sound out there.
Oh, yeah.
He goes back about
Good
his
job.
business. Back up to the second floor. You head up,
Congrats, you've investigated the sound.
you head up to the second floor. I would like a perception check to see if you can spot the book on this floor.
From both of us?
Well, whichever of you's looking. I assume one of you is kind of
Both.
like lookout for the 2 of you, right?
Yeah, Bruiser, you might be better at that than me.
Okay. I got a 21.
There you go.
21. You are not able to find the book on this floor, but you do see a very convenient sign that says, like, what each floor has on it. And so you can see, oh, yes, all of the tomes and ancient books and things are on the 4th floor.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll head that way.
We'll go to the 4th floor.
Great. You head up to the 4th floor. You pass another guard, but the same excuse works just fine on them. And now you are on a floor where the skylights, you can imagine during the day that the sun would very brightly illuminate the artifacts that are under each skylight. However, as it is, there's just a dim blue illumination of moonlight through the room. You see 7 books in kind of pride of place. So you can be confident that the Book of Exalted Deeds is one of these books. However, you're not sure which one it is exactly. You can either stop to read the plaques, or you can roll investigation to figure it out just based on your memory and what you know. There are 2 guards on this floor, and they are kind of just watching you. They haven't said anything yet, but they're just looking over towards you.
Are the guards on the roof looking into the skylights, or are they just looking out more onto the ground in the city?
They are wandering around the roof, so they check in the skylights from time to time. They look out at the city from time to time.
Okay, I'm going to use investigation to try and find it, so it doesn't look weird that we're like looking at plaques and everything. Like, I don't want to be suspicious.
Sounds great.
While that's happening, Gunnar would like to saunter up to the guards on this floor and prepare them. Like, hey, we're testing out the security systems on some of these books, some of these cases, because we heard some reports on some faultiness. So any loud noises, anything, we'll take care of it, but no need to be alarmed.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. We'll go ahead and roll deception.
Okay. Gosh dang it! What are my rolls? What are my rolls, guys? What are my rolls?
You want my
I have the
D20?
luck. I have the luck tonight.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
I got a 26 for investigation.
Okay, Bruiser, you figure out which one is the right book. You haven't made your move towards it yet because Gunnar is still, priming the pump, so to speak. Gunnar, they look at you and they look at each other and they look back at you and they're like, no, we didn't hear any orders about that. They're very good about getting paperwork to all of us when the orders need to change.
Well, we got the paperwork over here. We have a copy, and Gunnar will reference to Bruiser to show the orders that Bruiser that he forged.
Okay.
Yeah, he walks over and shows the orders that he has.
That was
I have a
27
license.
difficulty to understand, and they rolled a 7 on the die. So they have a look at your orders and they go, "Who's this officer that gave you the orders? We gotta talk to that guy, Officer Cromwell. All right, you make a note of that. We're gonna have to tell him to get his orders out to everybody. Sorry about the confusion there. We'll just stand back here and let you do your thing."
His scribe's hand got really tired. Didn't want to make more copies.
Well, just be extra careful, right? We don't want you setting off some of the alarms that are gonna some of the artifacts on this floor have the disintegration protections. You don't want to set those off, okay?
Of course.
So just be extra careful. Look, don't touch, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, and they step back into their post.
So I motion Gunnar over to where the Book of Exalted Deeds is.
All right.
Yep. So the Book of Exalted Deeds is on a fairly small, maybe 1.5 shins diameter, round stone pedestal. It has a glass case that's been fitted over it for the evening. The glass case reaches down to the floor where it fits nicely into kind of a set of grooves on the floor that it sits down on. You can see just barely poking out from underneath the book, there is some kind of arcane circle, but so much of it is obscured that you probably wouldn't have a chance to identify what the spell is, even if you're trained in Arcana.
All right. Gunnar would like to do a preliminary survival check to see if there's any traps that would incur even from stepping too close or touching the glass case.
Okay, go ahead.
That is a 22.
22. Gunnar identifies that there are 3 traps that are visible, that you find in this search. The first one is that the glass case has been set down on a pressure plate. So when you lift that pressure plate, one of the defenses will trigger. You would need to examine it a little more closely to figure out what that defense is. There's an arcane circle underneath the book. You can assume that this circle will trigger if the book is lifted or moved, but probably not if it is just touched, because what if someone jostles it when they set down the glass case? So that doesn't seem very practical. And then the third trap you identify is that there is a very small trip line that is tied from the base of the glass case, so where it slots into the ground, there's a little anchor point there, and that trip line is tied back to a certain side of the room. So if you were to lift the case off and set it on the wrong side, you would trigger a trip. It's just like kind of a, this person doesn't know the routine kind of check.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Well, actually, no, he's going to try to keep the other accent to not blow any cover. Well, oh, I lost it.
What are you doing out here? What are you doing out here?
What are you doing? Well, all right, so it looks like we're going to have to lift this case and set it specifically on this right side over here so we don't trip the trip line.
Okay.
And when we lift the case, we have to somehow keep pressure on the plate down there, consistent pressure. So I think that means.
I have
go
a
ahead.
cipher. If we think it's just like a sound, I have the cipher of silence.
No, I don't think it's a sound. I think it's a weight issue. Like when the glass is lifted, the plate will lift, and that will not be good. If that
Yeah,
makes
what
sense.
happens when it's... could I roll investigation to see what would happen? Like,
Absolutely.
see what... Okay.
I would accept investigation or arcana, your choice.
13 on investigation.
13 on investigation. So you're not sure what the exact spell is, but based on the general construction of the trap, you're pretty sure that this one would just sound an alarm if you lifted it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the
So
thing
an
about
alarm-
a silence spell. Sorry, go ahead.
An alarm will sound when this is lifted. I think.
Well, the thing is, with the silence spell, that only silences the alarm so far. Like, it only gets those guys over there wouldn't hear it, but everyone else in the museum would. But so what I'm thinking is we need to outthink these traps. We need to. So we know we need to lift it to a certain side, but then the other problem is, all right, how do we keep that consistent pressure on the plate? Can one of us just, put a hand on it, put a foot on it? Is that doable?
Yeah. Is
that
the
sort of
plate like in the shape of the glass, like the glass fits in grooves, or is it just a plate that'll be at ground level that we would be able to
No,
stand
the
on?
plate is in a groove, so the glass
Okay.
slides into the groove and then makes contact with the plate. It's just like, maybe an inch wide or whatever. I'm going to roll a tension die for the passage of time.
Just so you know, the for silence, no sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere.
Oh, it can't even pass through.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that. All right.
So but that has a 10-minute timer.
Well, that if we're quick about this, if we do our work, we can definitely do it.
Hello, I'm your shoulder angel, Riley.
Who?
You may have never heard of me,
Yeah, who's this?
but I'm your conscience, and I'm
Which one of our consciences?
whichever one can hear me.
We both can. It's kind of crazy.
They have me
we
pulling
have
double
the same
duty over here,
conscience?
so it's really you can blame upper management. But I just thought I'd say, what if it's wired so that way the whole building's alarm goes off and not just an alarm centralized on the item itself?
Well, that's
just
kind of what I'm saying. That's my theory, but you can never be too careful with the silence spell. I think here's an idea.
Yeah.
We pull the glass case. You still got that crowbar?
Yeah, of course.
Well, what if we wedge that crowbar in with the glass? I assume that has a really thin end to it. Like it's it's a good crowbar.
Yeah.
So you wedge that in there. Use that to keep the pressure on the plate. We have you just kind of lean on that, step on it, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
That keeps the pressure on the plate so we can lift the glass. Then,
Okay.
after that, we kind of pass out what the heck is going on with this arcane circle.
The next question is the glass like light enough for just one of us to lift, or is it going to be like a heavy glass
It's not
case?
it's not a very thick glass. You're pretty sure
okay.
that one of you could lift it, but you might, if you did do that, you might have to roll something with disadvantage to avoid jostling the book just because it's so tall. But if two of you lifted it, you're pretty sure that you wouldn't need to roll anything at disadvantage because you'd have more control over the big glass.
Well, the tough thing is here, it's a bit awkward. I could try to do it, but
So-
we'd need, if you helped, you would need to kind of.
I have an idea.
Okay, all right.
So you're gonna tilt the glass. I'm gonna wedge the crowbar down so it keeps pressure, and then I'm gonna stand on the crowbar, and then we both can lift.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think
From the other
If we
side of
wanna
the
be-
room where those guards are standing, you hear, "This is pretty cool, man. It's like watching what like real thieves would do if they."
that's the thing is we're testing it out. We gotta think like them in order to stop them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. All right, let's try it.
Okay. So I'm gonna have Gunner tilt the case, and I'm gonna slide the crowbar into the groove and stand on it to see if that keeps the pressure first.
Okay, roll sleight of hand to see if we can pull this maneuver off. It's a good gambit.
Do you want us both to roll or just
Just Bruiser
Okay.
for this one.
Okay, I got a 17.
let's go?
Yeah, 17's pretty good.
Respectable.
You push it down there. The glass flexes just a little bit, but it does not break or shatter. And you are able to go ahead and give a try to the next piece of your plan.
All right, so we both lift now, and we'll take it over
Yeah.
to this side. Gunner is very specific about the side that they need to take it to in order
Great.
to not do the tripwire.
Okay. Gunner, we're basically treating this as though Bruiser is helping you, so you're going to make the roll for the next action. And you can roll just a straight dexterity check to move the case there.
Alrighty. 16.
16, excellent. So Bruiser kind of gets into a good position of leverage to keep the crowbar down, and the two of you slowly wiggle the case up. And again, you hear the two guards in the corner go, "That's so cool, man." You like set it down very gingerly on the proper side. You're careful that like even though it's on the right side, moving it too harshly could pull the tripwire too. But you're really careful about that, and so it goes slack, and you're all good there. Shadow briefly darkens the skylight above you as one of the private security goons on the roof looks down. I'm going to roll a tension die to see if anything there happens. So they're looking down at you, and one of the guards who's in the room with you goes, "Oh, I'll let them know." And he runs up the stairs really quick to tell the guys on the roof what you're doing.
So now there's just one guy in the room?
So yeah, there's just one guard in the room with you. However, I do need to clear the tension pool now because that's the 6th tension die
Dun,
I've
dun,
just
dun.
seen. So we're going to roll 6 tension die.
No
There's so
tension, no
many.
tension, no
Oh,
tension.
no.
There are 2 complications.
No!
Okay,
Uh-oh.
so you are in the process of doing that when one of the outfits that you stole doesn't fit quite perfectly. And so, Gunner, as you you're so focused, your muscles are all tensed as you set this thing down. But you're a big guy. You're a
My
hematician.
rock hard muscles.
Yeah, you're a rock guy, and so you kind of you feel a tear start, and you're like, "Oh shoot, dude! Like if I move quickly, the shirt kind of shoulder section of this is gonna just totally rip off, and people are gonna know I'm a hematician, right? Like right now it's a long sleeved and long pants kind of outfit where nobody, unless they study your face, they won't know you're hematician. Now okay, if I have to flee, I'm risking people are gonna know that it was a hematician who did this. The other complication that arises is as you set it down, you don't jostle the book or anything like that. But you hear kind of an argument happening on the roof from that guy who went upstairs to tell them that you're there. You can't hear what they're saying through the skylight or anything, but you hear raised voices. There's an animated discussion happening up there.
Quick, there's only one guard here. If you can block his view, we could do the substitute with the books.
So after Gunner sets down the glass case, he's gonna kind of position his body to be in between Bruiser and the guard and the pedestal, and he'll kind of turn towards the other guy and be like, "Pretty impressive, huh?" Just kind of try to start a conversation with that other guard about
Starting the conversation is great. Instead of having to roll with disadvantage, roll a stealth just normal.
Okay. Stealth or sleight of hand?
Stealth. This is Gunner is going to roll this. This is to hide you.
I did 6 months in the Thieves Guild to kind of get the training to learn how these guys think,
Dude, you went undercover?
Yeah, it's undercover.
You was in the underworld? That's crazy.
Undercover in the underworld. It's 2 unders. It's crazy. All right. You said stealth? Nat 20. Let's go.
Nat
Woo!
20.
I was looking at the modifier, and then I looked at the dice again, and I was like, "Oh yeah!"
Under
give him a
squared
shot.
cover.
Yeah, yep, that 4 is not going to beat your nat 20, no matter what his mods are. So, yeah, so he gets he's like, what was it like, man? What were they like down there? Bruiser, what are you up to while they're having this
He's
conversation?
try and do a substitute without changing any pressure on the pedestal. So do like a perfect swap
Indiana Jones style.
as not to trigger the arcane seal.
Okay.
Because that worked for Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Famously.
Roll a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
Okay. Uh, 17.
Let's go.
Whoa!
Nice.
17.
At
Bruiser,
disadvantage.
You've got the duplicate book in your hand. You look down at the book on the table, and you grab the book off the pedestal. You're already moving your other book into place. You're doing the substitution the best that your quick hands from your circus days. You've really got a lot of manual dexterity. And as you make the swap, you have just enough time to identify in the center of the arcane circle a huge etching of a fireball begin to swell up as you put the other book down, and you hear it fizzle out, and a little wisp of smoke curls up around the book as you set it down.
Fireball.
And you have
give-
in your hand the Book of Exalted Deeds. Just to confirm, I need to know your alignment.
Ooh, I actually didn't set it, but he'd probably be chaotic good.
Okay.
Gunner is neutral good if that ever needs to be
That tracks.
talked about. Yeah.
Yep, those do both track. I just want to make sure that I'm reading everything right here. Okay. So because you have a good alignment, you are able to hold the Book of Exalted Deeds. And while you are holding the Book of Deeds, assuming you meet some criteria you don't know about right now,
Okay.
you find yourself you don't need any of the cleric stuff. Okay, so the only thing you have right now is a +2 to wisdom, temporary +2 while you're holding the book, and there are some conditions you would have to meet within 10 days to keep that, but
Okay.
for right now that's what you have is a +2 to wisdom.
And he's gonna give a pat on like a slight tap on the back of Gunner to signal that it's been done, and we can start just reassembling everything.
Well, that's like the security test. I think we might need to do some modifications to the tripwire system and everything, but the arcane circle and everything seems to be functioning great. So looking great. We're gonna put this back together, and you'll probably hear in the next next month about what's gonna change up here.
You just have to check the one. You're not checking.
Oh
them
yeah,
all?
that was the only faulty reported one. All the other ones, there was a check earlier that, all we do is we got to troubleshoot the ones that are faulty. We don't need to necessarily triple check the other ones because nothing.
Roll
nothing
a
bad's gonna
deception
happen.
with advantage. He wants to believe you, but he thinks it's really weird that you'd only test one. Like you've been convincing so far. You know what I mean?
Nice.
This is your moment. There you
We're
go.
here to clean the glasses. We only cleaned the one window, but we figured the other ones weren't clean enough. So.
Exactly. He goes, all right then. Well, thanks for your help, and go ahead and get on out of here.
Yeah, of course.
And then we carefully put the glass case back with the
Yep.
tripwire in mind and remove the crowbar.
Okay. Which one of you is taking the real book, and which one of you's got the dummy?
Bruiser is gonna keep the real book, and Gunner already has a dummy.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. So each of you had a dummy, so that
Yeah.
whoever-
Yep.
got it. Totally makes sense.
Yep.
And you begin making your way back towards the stairs so that you can move to the exit. As you do that, someone else is moving towards a very different kind of exit as Fox sprints down the hallway. He is on stage next, saxophone
Rock on.
in tow. It is time for Rod-a-palooza, Battle of the Bands. The crowd is going crazy as you get to the stage, just as you hear them announcing your name. And next, entrant number 4, Lily Peace Fox. And the crowd's cheering, and the pyro goes off or whatever, and you walk out onto the stage to begin your performance for Battle of the Bands. Now, here's the way this works. It all comes down to this, okay? If you win Battle of the Bands, you attune to the Rod of Charisma. The more charisma-based skills you use and the more descriptive you become, the better your odds of success, right? Because every time you roll, all those rolls add together. We're making a cumulative skill check here. The other bands are side stage watching you, The crowd is all spread out in front of you, big arena style. So they're kind of 180 degrees around you. It's an open air arena with this big, massive stage. You can do anything you can justify with 6 checks, because you get 3 checks for your performance and you did all 3 kinds of preparation. So anything you can justify, and some examples just to help you kind of start brainstorming what you can do here. You could be doing something in your performance. So like that could be singing or rapping or like clapping along to the beat or getting the crowd started. You could do hype things, right? So you could have some pyro or some light shows go off with some spells you know. You could start a mosh pit in the crowd or crowd surf, or you could do some kind of coordinated dance routine. You could distract or intimidate the other bands, right? You could try to intimidate them or insult them or something like that, or anything else you can make up or justify. And lastly, the last reminder I'll give you here is that you can override another skill with the charisma ability. For example, you could do a charisma acrobatics check if you wanted to crowd dive, or something like that. So, you have a lot of flexibility here. The only thing you cannot do is reuse a skill. So you have 6 checks, but you can only use any skill one time. And only charisma based checks are going to add to your cumulative score. So that's all the rules here. Let's talk about Fox's performance. You've got like a 5-10 minute set, right? It's Battle of the Bands. They got to run through people. But right now the stage is yours. The crowd is ready. Walk us through Fox's performance.
I go ahead, take a deep breath, just off sight of, out of sight of the stage, and walk on, and I'm like, woo! Hey, everybody! What's up? It's me, Fox Peace, bringing you a piece of this music. Am I right? Let's get some hands together! And I'm going to go ahead and roll a persuasion to, get the crowd, persuade the crowd, this is a time to be hype.
I got that. Yeah, go ahead and roll for it.
Yeah, that's 31?
31.
31. Yeah, let's go! Now, I do want to address a little bit of drama before we start here. I do want to say I've heard about what, the last person on stage did backstage, and I just want to say, let's not bring drama into this. I know it was really heinous. The sexual assault allegations. I'm rolling deception for this.
Ooh. That is straight out of TMZ.
That's 25.
25.
Oh no!
I'm gonna give. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give that artist a reputation roll here, right? Because these are all performers. So we're gonna see whether people believe you're they've been doing bad stuff. So I'm gonna give them a roll. They've got for the everyone here is performers. They've got a +8 to this roll. Okay.
Okay.
So here's their roll. That's a 6 on the die, only a 14. So okay, so that works. So remind me your roll again. 24.
25.
25. Great. We'll add that in.
I know it's hard to believe, but let's say this is not a place for drama. This is a place to rock out. Am I right? All right. That's what I like to hear. Now, Fox, looks down at his saxophone slung on him. He is wearing this very elaborate floral costume. He's got green tights, right? And as it comes up his chest, it opens up into a deep, wide V as floral rolls of, kind of like a flowery embroidery kind of expands outward and over to encompass around and behind him, enveloping him in this whole red flower kind of almost rose-like design,
like Padme's royal robes.
Yeah.
Okay, love it.
And so Fox is ready. He's never been more ready to do anything in his life. He's feeling this thing surge up inside of him. And he brings out the saxophone, looks at the crowd, gives them a wink, and just goes to town on this saxophone. I'm going to roll a performance, and I'm going to do a little... I'm going to use an advantage. I'm going to use an advantage.
Yep. We spend one of the 3 advantages.
Okay, that's that's a lot better.
Was that a nat
19.
one that you
It
just
was
saved
a-
yourself
It
from?
was a nat one.
I love it.
My.
19, performance on the saxophone, and the crowd is feeling it. They are with you.
And just going at it, and
You wore yourself out.
and he has here. Let's think here for a second. As he's going, right on a note of a climax of one of the lines we do here, like cast fairy fire on himself.
Oh, that's cool.
Lights himself up.
Okay.
And
For that one, let's do just roll a d20 and add your charisma mod.
gotcha.
Chaos is happening.
Lost
over
for a
there.
second. Yeah.
My favorite thing about what just happened is that when you dropped the die and you went after it, your chair very slowly swung into your desk and shook your webcam. So you were like, and then your whole camera went like shook.
Yeah. Sorry if I hit the mic with the chair.
No, you're fine.
So you said straight roll, add what modifiers?
Charisma.
Charisma. Well, of course. 21.
21. All right. Very cool. You've got 2 checks left if you choose to use them.
All right. And right after that, I'm going to go ahead, unhook the saxophone from the sling it's in, and toss it up in the air, throw my hands up, and get the crowd to start clapping, right?
Okay.
And mid-clap, catch it in my hands, roll sleight of hand.
All right. Charisma sleight of hand. Love that.
Another dice drop.
Another
I'm
one.
sorry.
Drop
I'm
the
going to
beat.
use an advantage.
Okay.
Oh,
Just kidding.
There's a move.
all right. This time, I got. 8 plus 13. I can't math right now.
21.
21. Okay. 21. And then it goes right back at it. Meow. Does it clap? Clap. Clap. Clap.
Awesome.
And then for the last thing, right as fairy fire goes out, I'm gonna hold up the saxophone, and then the lights go out, and I'm gonna roll stealth check to exit the stage without anybody noticing.
Oh, that's cool. Like the Freddie Mercury pose, and then you just vanish.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. I love that. Jeb sitting at the fire watching over Fox, you see in the smoke curling up from the fire like little mimics of this performance. So you don't you can't see that it's Fox, but there's just like a little caricature in there that's doing throws the saxophone up in the air and catches it, like all the different pieces just kind of curling up in the smoke. Fox, how'd you roll on that last check?
Oh, it was a good roll. 23, baby.
23,
Let's
baby.
go.
To stealth off the stage. Okay, I've got all your rolls written down, so I'm going to add them up to see how you did. The other 3 players are going to roll for the other 3 best bands, basically, who have been at this event.
I didn't
So
even think
each
about
of
that.
you, I would like you to roll a D100, and you're going to add 20 to it. These are the best bands at this group, so they're already, they start off pretty good.
Wow.
So 20 plus a D100, and we're going to see how they go. And Fox, if you don't win, don't worry, there's another element to this. So this does not deter, the competition
D20?
matters, but there is a final. You're rolling a D100 and adding the number 20.
Just adding 20.
Yep. And I'm adding up Fox's score here.
Let me know when you're ready for
because 6 times 20 is 120. You gave me 6 chances because I got the maximum.
I sure
Wow.
did.
Wow, that's cutting it real close. I feel like I'm good. I feel solid about that, though.
Okay, so Fox,
I feel like I beat 120. I think I broke that barrier.
You broke the glass ceiling of cosmic performances in the Rod of 7 parts.
What
Okay.
did Fox get?
I got. Hang on. Don't. I've
Yeah,
got
don't ruin
Fox's
it.
score right here. We're gonna do that at the end.
Oh, okay.
So, let's go through here and we're gonna figure out what the other bands got. So the first band is a Sir Shred-a-Lot tribute band, and as you watch them perform, you can see that their lead singer has this huge spiked mohawk, and he's got this really cool guy attitude. And you have a feeling that maybe you met their inspiration recently. How did Jake? How did the Shred-a-Lot tribute band go?
They got a 66.
Shred-a-Bunch got a 66, an admirable score. The crowd were digging it. They really enjoyed the performance.
That's why he's an opener.
That's right. The next group to come up is actually a band that hails. Well, you don't know where they hail from. It's a past era, but they are called the Clockwork Constructs, and they are 4 constructs who play like EDM music. Trevor, how did the Clockwork Constructs do?
111.
111. The crowd are really into the Clockwork Constructs.
Wow.
They were rocking it out there. And then the next band, the next performer, really, because this is a solo artist, is a person who plays just the lute, and they went out. It was just them and their lute. Their name is Lute for Days. They're just out there playing the lute. Wash, how did Lute for Days perform in Battle of the Bands at Rod-a-palooza?
Loot for days.
75.
75. Okay, so the leading score is the Clockwork Constructs, and they had, remind us again?
111.
111. And the judges are about to hold up the final scorecard. This is the scorecard for Fox. They've denoted that with a saxophone drawn on it in honor of who Fox is. They hold up the card there. The crowd are quiet in anticipation. They don't know what's going on. The moment builds. Time stops. The judges turn their cards around, and you can see that your total score is 140. Fox has won Rod-a-palooza Battle of the Bands, and as the crowd goes crazy, the festival music begins playing through the speakers, and you see the band MC person who's been introducing each band brings you out on stage, holds your hand up. Do you have anything you want to say to the people? The people are all going crazy.
Yeah, just listen to the music in your hearts and you'll never go wrong!
And as your words echo around the stadium, this song that you're hearing right now kind of fades into like an echoey, reverberating something in the back of your mind. You blink and you're not on the stage. You've got all the energy, all the memories of what just happened to you, but you are holding the rod in your hand. It's raining. It's stormy. It's weird. Jeb's across the fire from you. The fire is flickering to the beat of the music you hear in your mind. Jeb, you feel the weave activate first, and then you see Fox open his eyes on the other side of the fire. You don't hear the music. Only Fox hears the tunes. But Fox, you see things go on. Jeb's got a hand up. What's up?
Did I hear him say the final thing on stage?
How about you heard like a little echo of it kind of in the distance, but you could tell it was his voice this time. So Jeb hears just like this weird hinting of it out there as the attunement completes. Fox, in your hand, there is a lute pick. And as you look at the top of the rod, you can see that there's a little slot where, like, you know how a lot of guitarists have that little pocket on the guitar where they can stow a pick? You see that slot, and you know that if you put that pick in there, you will be attuned to this rod, and you will gain all the benefits that it comes with.
Jeb.
Listen
I
to
did
the
it.
music in your heart.
Hey, listen, I was on the spot. I thought of a really good one right after that.
It's on brand.
I was like, I could have been like, something about a piece of music. I don't know. Yeah, but oh god, wow! I did it, Jeb.
You did it, bud.
I crushed it. I'm sorry.
No, man, ride that high. You earned it.
All I gotta
put in
do
the
is
effort, and you did it.
I just gotta put in this pick in this slot, and it's.
What are you waiting for?
damn it, you're right, Jeb.
Drop
What am I
it.
waiting for? I slot that baby in and I hit the mic at the same time.
Yeah, you slot that baby in. You feel the rod glows very slightly in your hand, and then it settles back into just the wooden rod that it is, and you are attuned to the Rod of Charisma. And Jeb, in that moment, it's not just feeling the weave. You can tell, like, oh, like magic is working for me right now, and you got your spells back. We cut from Battle of the Bands to where a different kind of exit is being made, if you will. You have the Book of Exalted Deeds in hand, Gunner and Bruiser, under the cover of Finder and Cellar. You are on the 3rd floor and heading down in the Museum of Artifacts, the Hall of Artifacts in Clan Tructa. And I'm going to roll a tension die to see how long you've got before the guards think to investigate that. You've got the most amount of time you could have gotten.
Let's go.
So...
I mean, what Gunner's intention is just to calmly exit as if, job well done, we're turning in for the night, and just casually stroll out. Like, just,
Yep.
like
Great.
we're clocking
Bruiser.
out.
Roll a persuasion check. This is, or performance, your choice, both of you. This is to act the part of no nerves.
Alrighty.
22.
Okay.
13.
13.
Ice in his veins.
Please roll.
Done this 1,000
wow.
times.
I can't see the GM roll very well.
It's a
It's a
10 on the
10.
die.
Okay.
We don't know what their mods are.
You step outside, and the two guards, Biff and whoever the other guard was, they're sitting there playing cards with each other. And Biff looks up at you. When he sees you leaving, you see him look down and check his little timepiece. He's got one of those watches that like clips to your belt and then sits in your pocket. Pocket watch. That's what we call it. Pulls out his
That's what those
pocket
are
watch.
called.
Yeah, he pulls out his pocket watch, looks down at it, looks back up at you, and you see him narrow his eyes. Then he goes, "Hey, you got that work done fast there, mate. You want to play some cards?"
Oh no, we gotta get the report in. It's time sensitive.
Oh yeah. Official.
Paperwork. Yep.
I get
about
it. Have a good night. And he
You
turns
too.
back around. Go fish. And they continue playing cards.
And we saunter back to the cipher truck.
You saunter back to the cipher truck, and you have successfully exited without Gunner blowing anything up, impressively
I know.
enough. The Clan Tructa holdings, nobody the wiser, nobody even discovers that book has been swapped until much later down the timeline. And so as you make your exit, Clan Tructa disappearing into the wilderness behind you, or not the wilderness, but the rolling hills of southern Udra.
Josh.
Yes, go ahead.
In typical Bruiser fashion, I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace to cover up the cipher truck tracks.
Very well.
The cipher Pass Without a Trace. We don't have
and so
a rod or anything.
the next morning, people just go outside, and your booth is mysteriously gone, and nobody knows where you went or what. There's no tracks from the truck or anything like that, and you are headed.
Maybe we never were really there.
Yeah,
You
are headed in a beeline for Thraxenhaus domain to get this artifact to the other avatars and hopefully be part of the evacuation events there.
Well, if you're reenacting a well-told heist story, sometimes a boring heist is the best kind of heist.
I wouldn't call this boring at all. Those mechanisms were tricky.
It's true. But you know what I mean.
But nothing
Well,
exploded.
well,
Nothing exploded, but
in the story, you can say we exploded things if you want.
no, I mean we basically reenacted National Treasure perfectly. I'm not going to spoil that.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Also, Josh,
yeah.
I want to make a note. We took the blue tag off of the wheel.
Oh, okay. Good call. You did take the blue tag off of the wheel. So, as you leave Udril behind, and you head towards Thraxenhaus domain in the south, on foot, Fox and Jebediah Peppermint begin walking towards Thraxenhaus domain, hoping to meet up with the avatars there and find a way back to the four guys group. Mostly, Fox and Jeb are operating off of a tip they got because you see in their travels, when they reached Stonefield here, they actually came across one Elaine Mollusk on her way out of Tumbleweb, who brought them up to speed on the armies and the invasions and such. And so they also have an idea that like Thraxenhaus domain is in danger, and they are headed that way. Elaine Mollusk having left them. And as Fox and Jeb, as you're making this trek towards the mountains, towards the icy, cold, mountainous region that Thraxenhaus calls home, you look up into the sky in the dawn twilight, and you see a dragonelle soar overhead. Above you, Radford and Owlin and Riley, or did you decide you want to keep going with Riley? I can't remember. No, Riley stayed behind, right?
I think Riley stayed behind.
Okay, so it's just Radford and Owlin. Radford and Owlin, what have you been bickering about for the entire flight here?
It's not cold at all. What are you talking about? I feel absolutely nothing. It's
this is because of the way your scales and also the thermodynamics of your blood are actually designed to disperse heat.
I don't even know what that word means.
I think I actually just misused it just now. However, my skin and my bloodstream are not designed to function in this sort of environment or
your blood's
level
not
of
working?
winter.
How would your blood not working if it gets chilly? Isn't this not even chilly?
It's simply because of the way that heat is designed to be dispersed throughout my body by my heart. It's actually a very interesting, and it's just like keeps trying to explain how.
Okay, well, that might be my favorite quote I've ever added to the quote bot. How would your blood not working if it even gets chilly? So you are soaring along, having this bickering moment. It's almost a simultaneous exchange as Fox and Jeb look up, and Owlin and Radford fly overhead. Fox and Jeb, you hear Owlin talking about something. You hear his voice on the wind. Owlin, you lean over because you're cold and you're kind of like shivering and whatever. And as you lean over, looking down, you see a small fire dotting the landscape, cleverly concealed behind a stone obelisk. And next to it, two figures who are like too far away for you to truly identify, but they look like refugees or like travelers. It's not, the army has been burning holy sites, and way off in the distance, there are big fires. And even from here, you're actually close enough to Thraxenhaus domain that you can begin to see the bulk of the battalion that has been sent to go march on Thraxenhaus domain and find the avatars.
I'm gonna. Can I cast something?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast. I think you can do this with prestidigitation. You can make something louder, right?
Not that loud. Like, you're not going to reach a flying dragonelle at altitudes that are cold.
What was that spell you just wanted to cast?
Don't worry about it. I didn't. We all know I am bad at pronouncing things. It's fine.
Alan will point out the fire, like kind of with his, point his arm out and look to Radford. Do you think potential allies? They're a bit out of place at this point.
I'm gonna cast message.
Okay.
I'm gonna point up there.
All right. So this is how you do it. You have to like form the thing. You got this. You remember yeah.
So I point.
It's not going through the blunderbuss. So I don't know how you want to like focus it. If you want to use your instrument.
Well, I gotta play my instrument. I think.
Yeah. So you probably want to point the horn like. So you're going to be looking down, but it's going to be pointing up.
Okay, right? I think I got it. And then I yell it into the instrument?
I don't know. I do shoot magic. You do music magic. What do you think?
Do you yell when you shoot?
No, I whisper into it and then I go poof like that. But music is louder than a whisper, so maybe yours is yelling.
Howland, we're down here.
Alan, you hear a sick saxophone riff in the back of your mind, and then the voice of Fox going, "Alan, we're down here."
We need to get down. I believe that's
what
Fox and.
Why are we getting down? We need to get to the mountain.
I believe Fox and Jeb. I believe are right down there.
Now don't tell me we're making a pit stop just because you want to get by a warm, cozy fire.
Well, if the warm, cozy fire has two of the other founders of Four Guys, I believe we need to get down there.
Oh, you're the boss.
So Alan will steer direct the Dragonelle to land.
Fox and Jeb, you have just attempted to you've as far as you know, you've casted message. He didn't reply. So you've cast message to the best of your ability.
sure
Did you do it right?
The Dragonelle flew overhead. The
maybe I should've done
Dragonelle
it again.
vanished into the clouds, ahead of you. It's still raining, it's still stormy. And then a few seconds later, there's this huge
Maybe it's out of
ground-shaking
tune?
thud as this Dragonelle dives out of the clouds and slams to a halt in front of you. Mud goes everywhere, splatters all over you.
I charge up a lightning bolt.
The fire is extinguished as mud lands on it.
Not on the sacks.
And Jeb charges up a lightning bolt, gets ready to use it.
With what?
and
Do you have your guns?
He's
No, he
doesn't.
I don't have one that can do a lightning bolt. So,
Yeah, he's just got the little one.
Dang it! Where's Big Boy? Big Boy.
And Owlin and Radford are on top of the Dragonelle looking down at this.
Alan is going to immediately dismount the Dragonelle and run to Jeb and literally pick him up and hug him.
Jeb is like still looking for them.
Hey, hi, hey, Alan.
You have no idea how much I thought we lost you. How much I missed you.
I mean, I have a little idea. It's a little bit more of an idea now.
Alan will
Nice to see you too, Owlin.
set Jeb down. Alan will turn to Fox and
I'm good being covered in mud with your great parking job. Mm-hmm. I won't be cleaning my sacks out for hours after this.
I am so sorry I doubted you, Fox.
Hey, everybody does it, but it's the only mistake you get for free.
Alan will reach his arms out for a hug from Fox, but won't force it on him.
I give him a hug, rub the mud all over him.
And as that muddy hug makes the cold of the rain seem to fade away, tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session comes to a close. Oh, but we've got a hand up from...
I just would like to
Yeah?
notate that as I'm hugging Alan and we have this touching moment, Fox has this uncontrollable desire to sneeze as across the way, across Urda, there's a heist going off without a hitch, without anybody ever knowing, without him for the first time. It's almost as though somehow he's the problem.
And so the two of you are connected and our session has come to a close.
Well, you and me, at the end of the video, kind of awkward, kind of waiting for you to subscribe and all that. I'm just gonna head out.